What's up, everybody? Tim here from Nice Guys Garage and Speed Shop.
You know what I like?
What's that?
Hey guys and gals, it's Nice Guys Garage coming at you.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
We have our own styles, but the style for this one is going to be a Tarantino type of film.
Yes.
We're on day three. Three? We're on the third day.
The third attempt?
Day.
Okay. All right.
What happened is we started a YouTube channel and thought this new engine that we bought, which we don't know if it's a 350 or 383, would be a really nice dramatic reveal as a
super dramatic
icebreaker. Super dramatic.
Extra dramatic even.
So instead of taking the typical approach of just checking numbers that you could check in 5 minutes to see what you have,
So many numbers we could have checked.
Kyle had the idea of
Let's rip the oil pan off of it.
well, we had to do that.
Yeah.
But let's rip the oil pan off of it, do all of these investigative measures and science and math, and figure out if we have a 350 or a 383. A couple things that you'll hear people say when you tell the difference. Look at the damper, externally versus internally balanced crankshafts. Yeah, that could work. Look at, just pull the heads and just measure your stroke and your bore. Yeah, well.
Not pulling the heads.
Not pulling the heads. You could do all kinds of things. But as somebody commented on one of our TikTok videos when we shot the teaser for this, hey boneheads, why don't you just check the casting numbers
On the crank.
on the crank? Well, because that's not entertaining.
No, we decided we were going to do it way more challengingly with more challenge.
And ended up with the wrong assumption because of our
Yeah.
challenging. So I think at the end of the day, the lesson learned, which we already knew but reaffirmed, is the KISS method.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Keep it so simple.
Just keep it simple.
Scoot in here. I'm excited to show you the casting number, which is what we should have started with. Gander on that number and just read it to yourself, write it down, take a screenshot, and then go to any one of the internet search engines and type Chevy crankshaft casting number identification. Click on the chart that you think is the most reliable, and it's going to tell you that's a Chevy 350 casting number for a Chevy 350 crank. There's another casting number that we weren't so concerned with in the beginning videos, but it's a good one to check. Back of the block. Again, screenshot that, scoot in, write it down on a piece of paper you're going to throw away later, and then plug it into a search engine. That'll tell you not only the block, but the years that that block was used. You can dive a little bit deeper
At the
and come
the
into
pressed in number on the front of the motor. And it's right here. It'll include the VIN number and then the last three letters are what you're looking for. It's TWZ in this case, which tells us that we're looking at, what do we say, a 78, 79 truck motor.
Truck
K10,
motor.
2500.
I don't know.
Something like that.
something.
So
Regardless.
that's what we're looking at. So those are the places you can look for numbers to match your motors.
Bottom line is it's a 350. We'll show you day 1 and 2. Stick with it, but come back in. Because this is what I want somebody smarter than me to comment about. Maybe even a guy who works or gal who works in a machine shop. Almost all of our rod bearings are ground down. The bolt down to a couple of threads and almost down to the point where you have no meat left on the cap. This is a 350 rod that we took out of another engine we're rebuilding. The only thing I can think of is clearance, and I suspected the clearance was for the 400 crank. The only other thing I can think of is two options: terrible machine work, amateur machine shop, or a 6-inch rod that has to be ground down for clearance to put in a 350 with the regular 350 crank? I
Don't know.
You let me know.
We definitely want some feedback on this one, guys, because we're stumped on this one, really.
Yeah.
We've looked at all the resources we can to try to figure out what's going on in this motor, and it's a Franken motor. I think it's a Franken motor.
It's a Franken motor.
It's a Franken motor.
Watch day 1 and 2, see what you think, then subscribe to the channel and help us learn all other kinds of stuff. But most importantly, tune in when we throw this into a race car and
Yes.
blow it up.
Absolutely. Dale blows
Yeah.
it up.
Dale blows it up.
Dale blows it
Dale's
up.
gonna blow it up.
Dale is 100% going to blow it up. So what we've got here is a 350 we purchased last week. We were told these were 327 high performance heads from the 60s. We don't know for sure without taking everything off. We do know this has roller rockers in it because we've seen pictures underneath of this. We don't know how deep we want to dive into this motor yet. It's an aftermarket intake, we're for sure of that. So we know somebody's been inside of this thing at some point. What we've got going on is we think this might be a 383. Now, we drained the oil just a minute ago, had a bit of a video recording snafu, so sorry you guys didn't get to see that. What we determined is the oil's pretty good. We were told it was pretty new. And if you take a look at it, it's really not terrible. It might be synthetic because it's a little bit runny. It's also got some gas in it. We think that he probably started it.
Keep talking. I'm just gonna scoop on it.
We think he started it and didn't drive it, so that might be contributing to it a little bit. We're not exactly sure what's going on in here. But we didn't take the pan off. We took the bolts out, we took the starter out, we took the oil out, and we dropped the oil filter. Just so that we can get started. We'll let you guys see. We have not seen the bottom of this motor yet.
Now, what's holding it in right now?
Right now, it's being held in by every single ounce of RTV ever created by man. It's all of the RTV.
All the RTV.
There's so much RTV in here right now. So Kyle's going to go over and show you this 350 we picked up today from the machine shop.
Yep.
He's going to get on the Kyle cam and he's going to explain to you what's going on with that.
Let's grab. We got the Kyle cam. It's just a cell phone that does picture-in-picture. But let's. Dale, are we going with the Kyle cam yet?
We are.
Okay, so we picked this up. This is a 4-bolt main. That should be a 4-bolt main. So 4 bolts means 4 bolts holding those main bearing caps in. And this is a 350. This is a stock 350. And you see the bottom of the cylinders have a nice machine factory round. Nothing's been messed with. The oil pan rail is the same along every cylinder. And that's because that's the way it was made with a 350 crank. Now, if you've got a 400 crank, which increases your stroke, and that's what gives you the 383 because it increases your cubic displacement by giving you a longer stroke, you're gonna see right in here, somewhere along here, you're gonna see a notch out, probably right here, for the 400 crank, the bearing cap as it comes up. If you don't notch this, then you're gonna have some interference issues and obviously not gonna be able to run the motor. You may also see some notching along the pan rails. Now, when you do this, when you do a 383, you almost have to bring the machine shop the crank and just have them notch the crank that you have, because if you try to notch before you have the crank, it's like trying to grow a chicken before you've laid an egg, and it's not gonna work. So, go back to the Dale cam and see what we got.
Well, we've got our Gasket Fry Bar.
Oh, let's talk about that for a minute. Get one of these tools. Get one of these tools
It
here.
says not for prying specifically in the instructions, but you know what? It makes
not
the
true.
best. It makes a great pry bar.
It's a small pry bar.
All right. So hopefully this is gonna go.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm happy with a 350, but I would be over the moon with a 383.
That would really make our day, considering we got this for $350 price.
We did.
And we did hear it run.
Yep.
It runs fantastically. It makes a lot of noise. It is a Chevrolet, so you can hear every valve rocker or lifter eternally tick. That is expected. It's got a bit of a lope, so during idle, it kind of raises and lowers a little bit. It's not a smooth idle, so we have a pretty good idea. It's got some sort of a cam in it. Again, we don't know. We haven't been inside of this thing yet, so this will be our first dive into this bad boy.
Let's do this. Can you just cradle on that pan?
I'm not an under the car kind of guy.
All right, you do the hammer.
You want me to do the hammer or you want me to do the cradle?
I'll cradle. I want to be in a good position. Don't gasket pry it. Just tap it. Don't do that yet. Just tap that.
You want to just tap the pan?
Up top, yeah, up top by the rail. Yeah.
That's what I was planning on doing.
What kind of progress are we making?
None. You know what? It's actually got a quart gasket in it too. Do you think they quart gasketed and RTV'd this thing?
For extra safety?
For extra safety?
Could be. You're gonna get in on it.
Oh, yeah,
All right.
I'm just gonna tap on her lightly and just see if we can get this thing to move. There's so much paint.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about the paint.
The paint is probably what's actually holding it together. Yep. It does not want to come off.
A lot of drips in this paint.
We're gonna have to repaint.
I don't think anybody prepped this paint before they painted. Whoa. Really encouraging her over there.
You want to give it a shot over on your side? Because she does not want to go anywhere down here. Ooh. Do not want to do a whole lot of damage. Did you get some space?
Oh yeah, we just. I think your angle. You got to go to 32-degree angle. I think
is that what it is?
Yeah, you're probably going at less than a 32. Ooh yeah, you hear that?
Oh yeah, that's some space.
Look at all that.
Is that RTV you're seeing over there?
Oh, all the RTV.
See, now definitely if you're going to, if you're going to quart gasket an oil pan, you don't want to RTV it too. It's a kind of a one or the other kind of deal.
Yeah, not a both.
It's definitely not a both.
32.
32 up or 32 down? 32 up?
Yep. Let's give it a shot. Let's see. 32. I'm gonna hold on.
I don't really want to dent this oil pan.
No, don't do that.
Or bend any of the parts here. There she goes. There she goes.
The guys on the channel don't know yet. I'm the destructor.
Yeah.
So this is why my side went so much faster. I've got a lot of destruction experience.
Okay. There she goes. There's your. And just for evidence, guys, those were all the lock washers falling off. We have not taken.
Oh man, all those are in the oil. God,
Did we drop all the lock washers?
We'll have to figure that out in a bit. Let's just set this off to the side.
Oh man, guess what I'm seeing?
Oh, don't. No. Do you want the Kyle cam
out?
Get the Kyle cam out. Oh, this is exciting stuff.
I probably should pull this out. Get that out of the way. What do you think about that? Now it's gone. I'm seeing some engine work.
We gotta move this oil. I gotta really.
You gotta get in there, huh?
I gotta get in there to see.
All right, let's get this out of the way. You just gonna lay on it?
I'm just gonna get in there, and I'll show people what we're doing.
Oh, he's gonna be covered in oil. It's fantastic. I love it.
Don't worry about that. The sun is. Oh, you know what?
There you go. There, you wanna show them?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I do. So, this is my first piece of evidence. What am I holding this upside down? I don't know how technology works. There.
Taylor, are we recording on the Kyle cam? Yeah, we got the Kyle cam.
Okay.
No, we got the Kyle cam.
Right here. That's my first piece of evidence right there. That's notched.
Do you see?
Now,
you see but you look at the crank here and look at the rods.
There's so much sun. What?
Do you see?
Can we turn the sun off?
No, but look at the way the rods have all been machined at the bottom.
Yeah, I know.
Right down here.
That's. I was gonna bring that up in a bit. Let's not skip ahead.
He doesn't want me to rush.
So here Tim and I are just looking at the bottom of the crankshaft and mainly those rod bearing caps. Now we understand you can grind down some of those for balancing the rod before you put the engine back together, but we've never seen them ground down quite this much, and not all of them to the same amount. It really did look like it was for clearance, and we were attempting to be dramatic, as we said earlier, and wanted to do this without checking the numbers, but really the best way to do that is just to pull the head, and we didn't do that because, well, frankly, we just don't have the time or motivation.
We didn't measure bore stroke yet, but
It's not definitive at this point, guys, but pretty high likelihood that this is not a standard 350. This is probably going to be a 380.
I would wager.
I would too.
You know what?
We're calling it.
I'm calling it. You wouldn't do that. All the grinding work in there.
It's gotta be. You guys just go on ahead and you comment and tell us what you think.
Do we know what we're looking at here? Does anyone know more than we do?
Are we missing
about this?
That's the real question.
That's the question. Well, everybody probably knows a little more than.
Because why would they go through all that trouble?
You just
all that machining.
All that was clearance work.
If you're just going to put standard 350 parts in it.
Yep.
Right?
So, well, guys, tell us what you think. I'm excited. Dale, I'm sure you're excited. Kyle's excited.
Recap. 327 heads.
Yep.
Roller rockers.
Yep.
400 crank makes it a 383. Probably bored over. We didn't measure.
Yeah, we have to measure for that.
We're not going to measure it. Well, it's a good thing we didn't wager because we'd be out more money that we don't have. But we're not going to hide our mistakes from you on this channel, so we'll show you day 2 as well. For those of you that saw our first video, Nice Guy's Garage, where we did a 383 reveal, we told you we're not going to measure the bore and the stroke. And then we posted that video and got a lot of feedback. You guys told us you want us to measure bore and stroke. Some of you think we know what we're talking about. Others say we're clueless and should just stop filming now. And
I say, you know what? We might be clueless.
yeah.
But you know what we're going to do today? We're going to measure. Because measuring is what men do. So stick around. Let's see what we got going on. Is this a 383 or is it something else?
And let's do some math to just confirm on it.
Yeah. A little bit of addition, a little bit of subtraction. We'll figure it out and we'll let you guys know. You guys tell us what you think.
I brought the calculator. We could be wrong.
We may be wrong.
We could be wrong. Can you grab the box? I have a little black box. It's a protective case. I've always been waiting for an excuse to buy one of these for just over a decade. A Measure Digital sticker. And it's got other names, but this one's a Pittsburgh. We buy Pittsburgh tools because they're cheap and they're warranty.
Kyle learned something about this here measuring stick today.
I sure did.
So you can actually measure 2 ways. All right, well, really 3 ways.
Go ahead.
3. You can measure the inside using these 2 parts. You can measure the outside of any given thing. Or look at this fancy thing. You can actually measure. There's a stick back there.
Mm-hmm.
You guys see on that stick
Depth
there?
gauge.
Dale, you want to make sure you get in there and get a good view of that stick.
Just go closer to Dale then.
You want
to get
look, just. He doesn't want us to come closer. No. You see the little stick sticking out the end? That actually is the same measurement from that as it is any of the other places. So it's a multi-use measuring tool.
Yeah, meaning the measurement on the indicator is going to be the same on all 3 portions.
Yeah,
so
way to put it into scientific speak. We're not talking to scientists. Well, maybe we are talking to scientists here.
We're doing science stuff here. We're measuring bore and stroke, and we said we weren't going to do that, and here we are doing it. So
I got $20 since Kyle loses this caliper in the next 15 minutes. What do you guys think?
Do you? Oh, I almost forgot where it was. So, do you have I know we're going to use the calculator.
Yeah.
But do you have any of the digital calculators?
No.
I've got a phone in my pocket.
We've got a phone
cover.
The Kyle Cam, could be used as a calculator, but the problem is that the Kyle Cam is used as the Kyle Cam.
Okay. The calculator equation, we're going to go with volume, which is going to give us our displacement of each cylinder, and we have 8 cylinders, so we'll take that V and times it by 8, equals pi r squared times the height. I didn't come up with that. The mathematicians and such came up with that. I'm just going to use it because the book says it's right. And R is going to be half of your bore diameter for each cylinder. And then H is going to be your stroke. So those are the 2 things that we have to measure. We have to measure for our R and measure for our H. On a standard Chevy 350 engine, you have about a 4-inch, almost exact, an exact 4 inch, a 4-inch cylinder diameter. So half of that is 2. So we're going to plug in our 2 for our cylinder diameter, and then we're going to square that, and then we're going to times it by a standard stroke on a 350, which is 3.48 inches. Google it, I might be wrong. Let me know. And this is where I need the calculator.
I'll hold on to the calculator. Calculator?
Calculator, yeah.
Well, you get an actual calculator.
I can't do that math in my head. Nope.
There's a reason I went into wrenching and not college.
And if you guys want to see, we'll measure the bore on that thing so you can see that this stuff works out on the actual 350.
Well, and I'll show you the calculations to show you I'm not making this stuff up.
He's going to show his work, folks. It's like high school math all over again.
All over again. Okay, so the math here with the equation is 43.73. 43.73. Just hold on to my calculator here. But then remember, we have to take that number and times it by 8 because we have that many cylinders. 349.847.
So 350 cubic inches for all you guys out there who aren't really sure that is exactly a 350. So you can see the math works out for a standard 350.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're going to try to figure out, do we have a 383?
And a 383 standard practice is 30 over, bored 30 thousandths over, which gives you a 4.030 cylinder diameter divided by 2 is 2.015. We still need pi because we're hungry. And then what you do is you take a 400 crank or an aftermarket crank and you increase your stroke. And there's other things you can do. You can change your rod length and you can, guys, just,
there's a lot of
you increase your stroke. You increase your stroke. Mm-hmm. And you increase your stroke to 3.75. Man, I am sloppy. And that should give us close to 383, but I'm not a mathematician, so let's let the calculator tell us. Not the calculator.
Not this thing. We're going to need the backside of this box, I think, Kyle.
Tim, with how big and sloppy I write, we should have grabbed a bigger box.
We should have
got that. Yeah. All right. That's not right. 3.75. The math gives us 47.833.
Which is slightly larger than our 43.73.
And to clarify, that's per cylinder, right? The cubic inch displacement per cylinder. So we're going to just plug in 8 cylinders there. 382.667.
Close enough to a 383. And if you guys didn't know that when all of these car companies were making these motors and doing all this stuff, they just kind of roughed it. They made themselves a rough guess, and they said, you know what, this is basically 383, that's what we're going to call it. This is basically 350, that's what we're going to call it. We're going to say, close enough.
And I would like to know, we usually, Tim and I just go with the good enough theory, and we just kind of guesstimate things and call it what we want to call it and assume it's right. Is this worth it? Do you guys want to see that we can do this, or do you just want to
believe us?
Do you want to just take our word for it? Let's find, maybe if we're wrong,
You're going to need that.
you're going to need that, and then a pencil in there.
Well, we got some sort of
So,
wrenching somewhere, I imagine. All right.
I'm going to get in here.
I'm going to need you to lay down.
Bottom dead center.
I'm going to need you to lay down.
I'm not laying down yet.
Here, Kyle and Tim go to find bottom dead center to measure stroke from the bottom. That's right, from the bottom.
The right way to measure this would, you pull the heads and you put a dowel on top of the piston from the top dead center and you measure it all the way down and that's your stroke, and you can measure the bore nice, clean, and easy from the top. We're not pulling these heads.
What is perfection exactly, Kyle?
Enemy of done.
It's the enemy of done, guys.
Enemy of done.
Funny story about this quote. It's actually not ours, it belongs to Tim's father-in-law, but we liked it so much that we stole it. Now, we lost the rest of this video, I don't know where it went, but we decided to finish with some pictures instead, and if we find the lost video, we may just upload it to the tube. Stick around and find out. Thanks for watching, guys and gals.